I know this is a bit controversial, but I just ask you to please listen with an open mind. So there are three reasons why I strongly believe you should not post your child on social media. The first reason is the one that everyone talks about, which is not everyone on the internet, on the contrary, is looking at children's photos because they are so sweet and cute. And I know this might be hard sometimes as a parent to even imagine this, and so we tend to just ignore it and be like, I can control what people do with my content. There are bad people everywhere in the world. And I can understand that idea, right? You are not responsible, of course, for what people do with your content, right? However, I want you to picture this scenario. There are two playgrounds in your city, and you have one playground where you have like almost everyone, like 90% of the people or 95% of the people sitting on those benches around the playground are really creeps doing, satisfying themselves while watching little children play. And then there's another playground in your town where children are safe and nothing can happen to them. Which playground would you go to with your child? Of course, this is a no-brainer. You would go to the safe playground. The same happens with the internet. There are safe playgrounds on the internet. You can, for instance, create a private group on WhatsApp with all your family, and then you can create another one for all your close friends. And there you can share photos of your child with the people that are actually interested in those photos for the same reasons that you are interested in those photos, and not for reasons that are creepy. There are also other alternatives. If you really are able to have a social media profile that is completely private, where you don't have your child in the banner, you don't have your child in the icon, in your your profile icon, avatar, I don't know what's it called, but so that someone who is not in your private network cannot at all see your child. And if you are able to only have as friends people that are really people you trust with your child, that you would let them put your child on their lap, okay? Not just the person you met once at the grocery store, because very often children are abused by people that their parents know, right? That it was someone they met at their church, or someone, they are not really friends with that person, but it's people that they know. You know what I mean? Very often it's not a complete stranger. And I'm not saying with this, I don't want to scare you and be like, oh my God, you put your child on the internet and now awful things will happen. That's not what I'm saying. And it's not about that every time that people post their child on social media, bad things will happen, but it's about that it can happen. It happens so often. And I, unfortunately, have seen, or fortunately, because I like to be informed, I've seen interviews of pedos where, I saw one guy saying that he wouldn't leave his computer. He wouldn't leave his computer because there were photos that parents would post of children, and they immediately regretted and took them out because they were like, maybe it's not a good photo to post on social media. And those were the photos they wanted to grab. I saw interviews of people saying that with AI, with the help of AI, they would transform pictures of little babies, pictures that would just feel very innocent to any person, but they somehow, because they are, it's a sickness, and they see things in those pictures that you cannot even imagine because they are just sick. And they would turn those pictures into videos, and you can imagine the type of videos, right? There were people I saw that what they did was they would grab all the information they could find. So if they would find some child appealing, You know what I mean, right? What they would do is they would grab all the most what they find suggestive photos of that child. They would try and find all the information they could find about that child, which kindergarten they go to, which schools they go to. They could see that from the photos, from the logo, from whatever. They could try and they often shared details like this child goes to kindergarten at this time and comes back at this time, and they would know this from the content that was posted by the family on social media. And what they would do is they would turn all that into a package and sell it on the dark web as like for that child to get kidnapped by someone, you know, like here are all the details. And this is just really sad. It's really sad to even think that this happens in the world, but it happens. Okay, and again, I'm not saying that parents are doing this on purpose, of course not. And people very often don't even think about all these things. Maybe most parents haven't even seen all these interviews I've seen. And or maybe they just think, you know, there's nothing I can do, but there is, as I explained. It's the same as the playground. If I tell you there is this playground and there is that playground, you would definitely choose the safe playground. So choose the safe playground on the internet, because your child can be at risk, even if it's unaware for you. So I'm not saying that just because you post your child on the internet, they will get kidnapped. But just the mere thought that strangers are turning your child's photos into videos, or even just pleasuring themselves to those photos. You don't want that, right? Because no parent wants that. So don't post your child on social media. So that's the biggest main reason why I strongly believe you shouldn't put your child on social media. So that's reason one. The second reason why I strongly believe you shouldn't post your child on social media is because very often things that to us are funny and quirky and cute in small children, these are things that as children grow, they get ashamed of. So we all know those stories of you bringing your boyfriend home and your mom showing them your pictures of you potty training, right? My mom never did that, fortunately, but I've heard stories like that, and people find that funny. And yet the person is very ashamed. So imagine that you're going through puberty, you're going through teenagehood, which is very, very hard on itself, right? As a person who fortunately grew up in an age without internet and social media, I cannot even fathom how hard it must be for children nowadays to grow up exposed to social media, because the level of bullying, it just takes a whole worldly level, right? So all those pictures that you posted that for you are cute and sweet, your child might not think that. And your child might be bullied because of those photos, because the internet is forever. And even if you delete the photo, it's not to say that it's not already somewhere else, right? So it's also to protect the privacy of your child, because your child deserves that privacy, right? And to make your child's social life as good as possible as it can be, right? Because when we are growing up and teenagers, some parts of our social life are amazing, but it's also a really challenging time, right? And it's really important that we are able to protect our children, right? So that's reason number two. And the reason number three, and this is more regarding those family vlogs. What I see happening a lot on the internet is that people start a family channel, because it's something fun, and the kids even have fun doing it, although in my opinion, children are not at an age to consent to being posted publicly, but you can even say they had fun doing that video. And then you start doing, and many families start creating these family vlogs, and they get so popular, and again, very often for this first reason, because if you're going to check the followers, 90% are creeps, yeah. But yeah, let's not even think about that part, right? Let's just think that you have a family vlog, that all your followers are just nice people, and your child is having a blast with it. What I've seen a lot happening is that families start actually making money out of those family vlogs. And very often parents, and this has happened with very famous family vloggers, they just quit their jobs, and that turns into their job. And then it turns into their child's job also. So in my opinion, and I don't think this is just my opinion, this is child labor. Because when it starts becoming something that it's not because your child is having fun, but it's because you have to do this. And I see many times parents telling their kids, don't you want to go to Disneyland? If you want to go to Disneyland, you have to make this video. This and that person, and I've seen the craziest things with family vloggers. I've seen these family vloggers that they have private channels where you can pay to have access to private content from your children, which is very, very creepy. Imagine the type of people that pay for that. I've seen family vloggers that create events where fans can come and hold the child. I'm not even going to say anything about that. But there's so many things out there. And when it becomes something that, and nowadays, because family vlogs have existed already for a while, many of those children are now actually teenagers or reaching adulthood, and many of them are suing their parents. I've been seeing some lawsuits where they are saying that they ruined their childhood, that they forced them to work when they didn't want to work. I saw once a video of this woman that she was telling, so she thought that she was preparing her child to create a video, when in fact she was already live, and that's why we have access to this. And her son's dog had just died, and she was telling her son, oh, do like these, and the son, so that it looks like you're really sad. And the son is like, but I am really sad, my dog just died. Yeah, but do like this so that it looks like you're really, really sad. And the kid was so sad, and he was just like, but mom, I am really sad. And it just was breaking my heart seeing that kid. And, yeah. Anyway, I'm not saying with this that because you posted your child in the past that bad things will happen. I'm not saying with this that you're a bad parent. There are no perfect parents. We all make mistakes. And what I'm saying is that it's like some famous sentence that I forgot now who said it, but someone said something like, do the best you can until you know better, and then do better. So now you know better, so do better.